Howdy, 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 and welcome to the Lady Walker Show. I am Lady Walker, and we have a gem dandy of a show in store for you. My guest tonight is a businesswoman who wears many hats. She is an author, co-author, founder, co-founder, professional writer, acquisitioner, editor, and many more hats. So welcome to the show, Meredith McGee.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
It's nice to see you again.
It sure is nice to see you again.
And as I said, you wear many hats as a businesswoman.
Yes, ma'am.
You are a busy person.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Now, we are going to talk about a lot of the things that you do. You brought a lot of the books with you. We are going to talk about those books and all of that. So let's start with you being an author.
Okay.
Now, what book have you published to be an author?
Okay. When I first met you, I was the co-author of Meredithetc.biz, and I wrote this with Darlene Collier. And we had it translated. There were three people we had a translator and two editors. And because I used the software at first, but it missed so many things.
Oh my goodness.
But it's Casada al Pecado, which means married to sin in Spanish.
So that's Spanish, okay.
Yes,
so married to sin is in English as well as
Spanish.
Very good.
Yes.
Are you planning on at some point in time to get all the other books that way, or?
Well, right now we're working on audio books.
Okay, good.
We got William Tress's book in an audio book. And I have someone doing my new book, which is Odyssey.
So that's your book that you
Yes, this is my
written.
new book.
And that consists of what? Poems and other writings?
Yes, 3 chapters of poetry, 1 chapter of printed articles, and then a study on leadership that talks about Ray Kroc and Sam Walton and compares them with other leaders.
Really?
Yes.
I like the cover. The
Thank
cover
you.
is beautiful. Odyssey.
Yes, it's a journey.
Were you writing on that book when you did Married to Sin?
Well, this is 20 years of writing.
Oh, 20 years.
Well, 19. Yes. So it's poetry that goes back to 98 and some articles that go back to 1994. Yeah, 20 years of writing. Yes.
That's a long time, and you decided to put it in book format.
Yes, I just gathered it all and chaptered it up and categorized it and then published it.
Okay. And so that's your book, and you co-authored Married to Sin, and your next book.
This was a second. This is the book that I wrote on my uncle and his generation. It's a full biography of him, but it also includes his peers, such as, of course, Medgar Evers, Fannie Lou Hamer, Unita Blackwell. There are just dozens of people and their civil rights stories. And it's been classified as a textbook, so it has made it to public and academic college libraries in America as well as in some other countries.
That is
I am
great.
very, very proud of this.
So you pushed the book, huh? You pushed it
where
it can get to where...
It was commercially published, and it has been classified as a textbook, so they do the marketing for this.
Oh, okay.
And these, my small press, we publish these.
And we're going to talk about your small prints
eventually.
And your next book, since this is closer to me, is Starkeisha?
Estrella, which means star in Spanish. And this, we published this memoir in May. It's
May of this year.
May of this year. And this book to me should be in the classroom. It is similar to Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings.
Okay.
Yes, it's a very, very good memoir.
Okay. And I did interview Miss Ty Patterson.
The poet, yes. Yes, Southern Jewel is a collection of poetry, and it's adult poetry. It's very, very good poetry, and she's having a book release party soon.
Oh, okay. By the time the show airs, the release will be over with.
Right.
And Reverse
Guilty Plea. That's a novella. and we just did his audio book. Our son did the voice for this audio book, William McGee III, and it's a very interesting story of a character named Charles who was involved in a family feud that landed him in jail, and his sister ended up with the family estate.
I like the layout of this book. So you did the
yes,
layout?
Yes, and the cover designs.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, the layout is gorgeous.
Thank you.
And the reason why I say that because I do reading glasses, and I'm right here somewhere, but I can see the words. I like it.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wow. Now tell us about your small printing press publishing company. Tell us about that.
Well, actually, we started, Miss Darlene, when we did Meredithetc.biz, we were trying to get it commercially published. And she didn't like being rejected. You send your manuscript to her.
Is that what comes when you are looking for the big publishing company, commercial publishing?
A beautiful letter that says, you have a great story, but you're not right for us.
Oh, really?
So we started our own company with this, and then she didn't want to publish any more titles, so I started another one last year, and I've done these 4 titles, and we have 3 titles coming out next year.
3 titles?
Yes.
Okay, and the name of that publishing company?
Meredith, etc.
Meredith, etc.
It's a small press.
Okay, so you are an author, you are a co-author, you are a co-founder, you are a founder of Meredith, etc.
Meredith, etc., Mose Dansler Press, and the acquisition editor of Meredith, etc. /publisher.
Wow, you are really busy.
Yes.
That is certainly a full-time job.
Yes,
but this is what you do, right, all the time.
And I love it. I love it. Because I love to read for pleasure, and I love working with the author to revise the manuscript, naming the chapters, making sure we have everything timed, and doing the cover, and promoting the work, and it's just a joy.
So it's a process that goes into writing it, getting it published, and all of that. It's a process, and it takes a little time.
Yes, ma'am.
So walk us through the process when an author or a writer comes to you and they got this material that they want to get formed in a book. They don't know what to do. It's just like, okay, I got some material. I want to do a book, but what do I do? What are the steps? Well, you know what? I tell you what, it may get a little bit long-winded when you give us the steps, so we are not going to go into that just yet. We are going to take a break, and then we are going to come back and let you give the steps, because let's just use me for instance. Let's just say, and I'm using something Deborah said, I want to do a cookbook. Right. That's something Deborah Gant had said she would like to do sometime in the future. Right. And she would like to get that cookbook into a book format. What are the steps that I need to go through, because a commercial company may not pick me up, and I don't want to have to wait forever in a day to see if they will want to take me on. I may receive these rejection letters, and it's easy to get discouraged in the midst of that. So it's time to seek out someone else who can help me with that. So we are going to take a break and come back and have you to tell us what to do when it happens.
Okay, thank you.
All right, beloved, we will be right back. Welcome back, beloved. My guest is Meredith McGee. She is an author, co-author, founder, co-founder, professional writer, and a whole lot more. A whole lot more. Now, before we went on break, we were talking about the steps that you, for me, if I wanted to get a book published via your company, what will I have to do? Because going via a commercial company, my chances may not be as great.
Right.
Because I'm not as famous in the eyes, nationally. So I need to find another avenue to get my book out there. So what are the steps that I would have to take?
Well, on our blog, we have author submission guidelines. The first guideline is that the author must have their manuscript typed, double spaced, 12 font. They would have a cover letter telling us about them and their work and when they plan to have it complete. And the cookbook, she would need to have the recipes typed
well, they had
separately.
to be set up. Oh, okay.
The title of the recipe, and then it typed, basically, in a manuscript format,
and
which
so,
would be 1-inch margin.
Oh, okay, 1-inch margin, 12 fonts, double space, typed, no handwritten.
No handwritten.
Do not handwrite it.
Right, because I would have to have it already typed so that I could begin the process of working with the author to edit the manuscript.
Will they have to put it on a disc or something from that standpoint? Otherwise, you have to retype everything all over? Or?
Yes, on a disc, or either they would email it to me.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And then once you get that information and decide that, okay, I think I want to go ahead and help this person publish this person's book, what's the next step?
Then I would offer them a contract.
Okay.
And they would, review the terms and see if they would, if it would be acceptable to them.
So the process of getting the book from this stage 1 to stage 2 or 3, the print out to this format, how long does it take?
Now that's a novella. It's 78 pages. He started with our typing service, and actually it was short. It took 6 months.
Oh, okay.
For us to get it typed and to get his chapters together and get his some editing for his characters. And
you said it's a novella. Is that something?
It's a short novel.
Oh, okay.
And Starkeisha, she has a pretty big book. It's 276 pages. So it took us over a year and a half to get the chapters together and do the editing.
Oh, I like the layout. I mean, the covering, and who chooses the cover?
Well, the company, we do most of the covers I do.
Yeah. Okay, those are. Now, I know this is what they call bind.
Trade back, paperback bind.
Okay, and,
yes.
And what are some other ways you can do books?
Well,
this is the most popular.
That's the most popular. Then you have this is hardback with a cover, and then e-books, and then audio books, because people who have a hard time seeing, they buy audio books, and some people use audio books when they're traveling. So now we've converted all the books to e-books, and we're trying to convert. We have them Kindle, Nook, and we're trying to convert them to iBooks. We did Starkeisha Estrella first.
iBook?
We're in the process of doing hers into an iBook. It's already for the iPhone, Apple.
Oh, really?
Yes.
A book for the phone?
Some people are reading them in their phone, and some people read them on their iPads.
Okay, that's really interesting. I don't have an iPhone, so it's like, huh? I got the very basic phone. I haven't upgraded, even though I can. I'm just so stuck on that little phone for right now. So Starkeisha is being upgraded to the
iBook.
Okay, iBook.
And then we'll do the rest of them.
Now, you say ebook, and that's where you can
download it into your. All of them are available. Amazon owns the Kindle. That's for the ebook reader, and then they're also available. Barnes and Noble owns the Nook, and that's the ebook reader where you download the book, and it's usually cheaper.
But it's so interesting because I have heard the terminology, I have read it, here and there. I just never really understood the differences between the two. An ebook, the Kindle, and the Nook. I'm like, aren't they the same? Well, evidently there are,
different companies.
Yes. Okay.
But most people still buy print books, even though
Yeah,
there's a lot of people.
I gotta tell you, I love myself some print books. I love the feel the print books. Okay, so I hope they don't ever be extinct to anything.
I doubt it.
I pray that they will always be a part of this world because I like to feel the book in my hands. I like to carry the book. I like to go to bed when I'm reading with the book
and reread them sometimes.
Exactly, and that's the good thing, being able to read, because when you read a book the first time, chances are you're not going to get everything out of that book. You're not going to remember everything, and it's good to have a second read and a third read and all of that. So that's very good. Now, as a publisher, you also tell us about, what is it? Let me see. You got typing solution, resumes, etc.
Yes, I've had that business for 10 years, and actually we started. This is really where it started, because even Meredithetc, I thought it was a typing job, and Classic Printing, Miss Womack, she gave me that referral as a typing job. But when I saw the yellow pads and I started going through them, I realized that I was going to have to help her write this story. But it was such a great story that I took it on, and it took about 5 years for me to interview Miss Collier and get her story typed, and some of it she put into the tapes. So, and then I transcribed them and typed them.
That's a lot.
Yes, and went, interviewed her relatives and went to her hometown and went to her land.
Did they feel free to divulge that information? When you went to her hometown and talked to some of her relatives, they were okay to give that info?
Oh yes, they were just so happy, because she had been writing for a decade herself, and for her to find someone that was going to actually help her get her book complete, they were very supportive of her. We went to the church that had been established almost 100 years earlier, with the grave site, and looked at all the graves and the dates, and did the census, searched through her census record, found her great grandmother who had been a slave and had came from South Carolina to East Mississippi, and her grandfather.
So that
it was very
took some time to have to be able to do all of that.
It was interesting.
All right, well, we are going to take a break and come back and continue along the many hats that you wear as a businesswoman.
Thank you.
All right, beloved, we will be right back. Tonight's guest is Meredith McGee. For more information on book purchases and publishing, log on to www.meredithetc.biz, or information on typing solutions, resumes, and etc. Log on to www.meredithetc.biz or call 601-372-0229. Welcome back to the Lady Walker Show. My guest tonight is Meredith McGee, businesswoman. Okay, we still got a lot to talk about, but you are going to read a poem from your book, Odyssey.
Yes, Odyssey, chapter 2, which is something inspiring.
Okay,
and the title of this poem is Mirror on the Wall. Why is the blue sky gray? Will his soul reach heaven on Judgment Day? Is he prepared to lead? Please, please, please. Have you any manners to speak of? Did his voice reach the man? What is your 5-year plan? Will you save? Will you spend? Will you make amends? Mend a broken heart, a shattered life, a strained relationship, mend a broken fence, blend your mind, touch a heart, play cards. Who are you? Are you blue? Are you going anywhere? Are you daring, glaring, bold, or brave? Is your dream on a mountain in the sky? Are you winning the game of life, or asleep and in defeat? Are you a man or a boy, a woman or a girl? Are you the ruler in your house, or a mouse or a bug? Sneaking through the night, gathering breadcrumbs? Are you a bum? No, he's fly. He's it. He spit. Want some? Some what? Yup. What is yup? Yup is what it is. Mirror on the wall. Are you bawling? Are you shot calling? What are you going to do when they come for you? Are you blue? Are you true? Who are you?
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Thank you.
My goodness. That should get one to thinking, analyzing themselves. Oh my goodness. That is really beautiful. Now, one thing about poems, it's about embracing poetry as you would any other form of writing.
Yes.
And I guess a lot of people, in order to be able to embrace it, I mean, they have to be taught the beauty of it.
Yes. There's a message.
Exactly. It's a message
yes.
in poems or poetry, just as it is in any other book.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, that is beautiful. Now let's talk about some of the challenges that you faced as a businesswoman in your publishing company and writing your books or whatever, or as a co-founder.
Well, I think that's the challenge is that it really, really requires a lot of work and a lot of dedication. When you start, when you have anything that you're producing and creating, and you have deadlines to meet, that in itself is challenging, because it takes a lot of work and energy to produce a quality book.
That's it, quality book. Does that mean burning the midnight oil sometimes?
Yes, absolutely.
Going without sleep, sufficient sleep, that is.
Right, and really working hard and working with the author to make sure that the message that they're trying to portray is getting portrayed in words.
Exactly. And because that in itself is certainly, I don't know, it's just being able to express what's here.
Right.
Into words where people can understand it.
Right, right. And visualize what's going on in the story as well. Sometimes that's important, making sure that the setting and the scene and the backdrop of the story is also written in each chapter, and that is opened properly and closed properly.
Okay, that's interesting.
Details.
Say, again, as an acquisition editor, that goes in just dealing with what various things as an acquisition.
Well, someone will usually email me or call. I have a reader now who I pay to read the manuscripts before I consider offering a contract.
Oh, okay. That's got to be a pretty big job to do, to sit there and do all of that reading. And I guess it depends on how thick that book is going to be. Yes, and also you have to consider whether, because it takes a lot of time, whether it's going to be worth the time, whether the author can actually sell, because authors sell books. And also you have to consider how much time it would take to get it ready for the market. So a lot really goes into preparing and birthing any book of such quality. Yes, yes. Now, when you wrote James Meredith's book, you did it. You authored it yourself, right? You did it yourself. Yes. It wasn't a co-author kind of thing. No, I wrote these both books by myself, Odyssey and James Meredith Warrior. Now, I was working on Meredithetc at the same time. It took 4 years for me to write the manuscript, James Meredith Warrior. I interviewed my uncle for 2 years, which he embraced it. He used to drive to my house so I could interview him. And I also interviewed all of his siblings, his older first cousins, and Hollis Watkins, people that were involved in civil rights. And I did a lot of reading
because it includes stories of Malcolm X, Stokely Carmichael.
Wow.
You know, so it includes just dozens of people. And the last 2 chapters are about closing the wealth gap between the have and the have-nots, that gave very differing and important views on how they think we should, how they think America can close the wealth gap.
Oh, okay. Well, I know we are coming up on a break, so we are going to take that break and come back and let you give out any contact information, website, email address, or whatever that you want to give the audience, just in case someone may be interested in utilizing your service.
Okay, thank you.
All righty.
I appreciate you.
We will be right back. Welcome back, beloved. My guest tonight is Meredith McGee. And Meredith, I want you to give out any contact information to the audience, just in case someone is interested in contacting you, using you to get their book published, or using any of your service that you offer.
Our small press is Meredith Etc. Meredithetc.com, MEredithCom. And our typing service is Typing Solutions, and it is Meredithetc.biz, B-I-Z, Meredithetc.biz. Thank you so very much for this opportunity.
That's a whole lot. Now, again, the typing business, what is that again about?
We type for students, poets, writers, and also we do limited printing and offer editing services. We do a lot of work for college students.
Oh, okay. So anybody else support from college students?
And resumes.
Oh, and
yes,
resumes.
and we do resumes, yes, and business plans.
Oh, okay, then. Well, Meredith, it has been a pleasing pleasure to sit down and talk with you and find out about all the books that you have authored, authored and co-authored. Yes. Exactly. All right. Well, we got to go. It has been
okay. Thank you.
You are welcome.
I appreciate
Beloved, thanks to Trill for tuning in, and I will see you next time on the Lady Walker Show. Ta-ta.